So now, thank you very much for your participation. Now it's time to continue with the session, the acceleration of the possible action in the API era. And for this, it's a pleasure to have Rob Kurver, founding partner, CPaaS Acceleration at Allianz, who will moderate this session. Welcome, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all of you that are still here, because I'm going to go back to the first question on Slido when this session, this summit started. And the number one question that I saw there was, how can developers make money? What verticals, what applications to develop? I think that's the million-dollar question. Also because that's the question that all these telcos have. How are we going to make money because we invested $1 trillion or something in 5G and we're not done yet? So we're going to talk about that in the next 10 minutes with a group of 4 of our members in our alliance. We founded the CPaaS Acceleration Alliance 2 years ago to bring telcos and developers together basically around the theme of CPaaS and programmable communications. And the million-dollar question for us is, and that's what we're committed to solving, how can we help the industry generate revenue? How do we bring stuff to market faster? All these new solutions that are coming out, all these new possibilities, including network APIs. So we're going to talk about that with these 4 gentlemen, and I hope they're ready now to come on stage. I hope they're ready to come on stage. They told me they wouldn't come. Yes, Robert Galop, co-founder of Creo Solutions. The next one is Mark Simoncelli, the CRO of Mac49. And then we have Mark Castleman, the MD AI Cloud of Intel. And Nicolai Schaettgen, the CEO of Matchmaker Ventures. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here. We have 10 minutes and 24 seconds left in this session to talk about how are we all going to make money, how we're going to get to that $1 trillion revenue. I'm going to ask you a couple of simple questions. I'm going to go in a particular order. We're not going to do introductions. We're going to do this quickly because we only have 10 minutes and 6 seconds left. So, the first question for you, Robert, as the co-founder and main man of Creo Solutions that you started just recently. You're building applications also based on network APIs, and you're bringing them to market for some of the network API Open Gateway members. For example, Schaettgen is one of the recent ones that you announced. What do you do? How do you do that? What's your secret thing?
So we talk with customers. We know the market, we research the market, we go out and actively work with customers, and we're actually prototyping things on top of Schaettgen's technology stack, right? So APIs are really exciting, they're fun to build against, but consumers and customers don't actually use APIs, they use applications. So that's where we focus our efforts, is really getting out in front of customers, seeing how they use things, seeing how they work on a day-to-day basis, and figuring out how to plug those APIs in and create better experiences, create better workflows and workloads.
So what are the lessons that you want to give to both telcos and developers from your experience?
So last year, the average project we worked on in 2 years is going to be generating $34 million in revenue. And there's 2 teams that come to us and ask us to do stuff with them. One team, I'm going to tell you, never works. And this is a team that's called the innovation team. And what they do is they sit behind spreadsheets, they analyze all day long, and they figure out ways to say no on delivering stuff. The teams that actually deliver those results are the teams that think like CEOs. It doesn't matter if it's a CEO, a product owner, product manager, but people that really own the customer, that really own their product, those are the ones that end up actually delivering on that $34 million. And they're the ones that are going out, they're talking with customers. They're not afraid to look stupid, right? Your first product is always going to be embarrassing, but they're going out and testing things, falling on their face, getting punched in the face on a regular basis, and learning things from their customers. That's the single biggest contributor to success, is going out talking, failing, and figuring out what the next thing is.
Thank you very much. Very clear. Mark, I'm moving to you. You're the CRO at Mac49 And I've come to know you recently as a, let's say, a venture builder. You work with scale-ups, you work with corporates, you bring those worlds together, and the only thing that you're committed to is growing and scaling business or building scalable businesses. In your experience, how do corporates and startups, because you're bringing those two mindsets together, how does that work to capture value?
Great question. So you said it beautifully. You got to start by listening to customer pain, placing a series of small bets. So we like to take these ideas, move out of PowerPoints, move out of prototypes, and launch new lines of business. You need to do that through, obviously, internal ventures. You need to do it by working effectively with startups and really bringing the ecosystem together. So we're big believers in My49 of building growth engines through build, buy, partner, and invest, and taking advantage of these amazing opportunities that you've been hearing over the last couple of days.
So, very simple question, and where does a telco start if they have these network APIs, they have the desire to make money, they have developers, they've done hackathons. Now what's the next step to actually scale and build real value and generate revenues?
So stunning. So 12 weeks we incubate new lines of business. We incubate a venture in 12 weeks, we get it to a fundable business plan, so move outside of the hackathons, moves outside of the PowerPoint presentations, the prototype sessions, and really start to launch ventures. It can be done. It's a teachable, learnable, and scalable skill that we believe anybody can learn. So yeah, start there. Take those ideas, go into your top drawer, because I know they're there. I know you've got amazing entrepreneurial talent. Take it and start to do something about it. We can incubate a business in 12 weeks and then obviously move it through its cycle. So start there. Stop talking. Take some of these ideas. We can't be having the same conversation 2 years from now. We need to take some of these ideas and launch new lines of business.
Thank you, Mark. Nicolai, I'm moving to you. You're in the business of connecting scale-ups to telcos, BizDev. You're making those connections by understanding where the gaps are in the telcos, the carriers, what they have, and in portfolio of companies that you represent that can fill those gaps. You did a blog post or a LinkedIn post a couple days ago, which I found very intriguing, which was about the time that startup scale-ups use versus the time that corporates use to get stuff organized, like your NDA, terms and conditions, all the basic stuff. What's the problem there?
I think corporate needs to understand, like, being slow and indecision really is a double hit. On the one hand, on average, you spend $200,000 per month, euros per month, just to validate opportunities with all the internal costs. So you incur a lot of costs by just validating. And second point, by being second to the market in digital products, it's about a 36% decline in market share capture. So it really hits you on the, hey, cash out, and it hits you on the, I win less. So speed is really of the essence in this market, and with GenAI more than ever.
So in your experience with the current companies, and you also represent, for example, you work for Schaettgen,
yes,
just like Robert is doing with his company. So what do you do differently, or how do you help to bridge that gap between a scale-up with a great solution and a telco that wants to start making more money?
I guess the secret sauce, right? So I think there's one part you really need to understand the current status quo in order to get the customer what is the desired future state. And you need to get buy-in from the customer of both. So the customer needs to believe, hey, this is what I can really reach. This is the revenue I can make, the efficiency I can gain. So you really need to work on those 2 proof points. And then second, I think what both corporate and startup needs to understand is, hey, how do I get my road to go live? How is my road to the small yeses? What's the next yes? And as a corporate specifically in this market, I believe you need to understand that there's never certainty. We're an innovation business, so there's risk involved. But what's the degree of certainty you need in order to make a yes decision? And then stick to that decision. Because corporates is exploring, validating, seeing, looking, let's discuss. No, define it. What's the level of certainty you need? Is it the product is working? Is it 1 customer interest? Is it 5 customer interests? It cannot be 10 million in revenues guaranteed or 100 million because it doesn't exist. So understanding that path and being for corporate true, okay, I need 60%, this is the proof point, then I can get going. And if you have that, good for both.
Great, thank you. Finally, Mark, Castleman, the final 3 minutes are for you. Because we're talking about generating new revenues, and there's this thing in the air that's called AI. and you're MD AI Cloud. I'm sure you do something with AI. What is that telco opportunity in your mind with the AI future? The way I look at it, we're moving from a web economy to an app economy, and now to a conversation economy with AI, right? We like to talk to and text to our GPTs. And I think that this is a huge opportunity for the telco space and communication players in general to make real money to recover that $1 trillion. What's your view on that?
Yeah, exactly. So the important thing to understand the opportunity is to first understand what's happening. So you're exactly right. We are shifting. We're shifting from an app economy to a conversational AI economy or an AI economy. That is about a $1.5 trillion shift of both capital and value, okay? So that's part one. So how it shifts is super important to understand as well. And what's happening is that the concept of the app is being disaggregated into individual agents, agentic AI. And agents occur at different levels and they provide you, the human, discrete value. And you assign the value to that agent. Not the app is currently defining value. You define value in an agent economy. That means you're pricing the value. So what happens is that when all of that opportunity becomes, or goes up in the air, imagine like all the money in the world going up in the air, and there is new gravity that pulls that capital into a new place. And that's where the opportunity is. If you capture value, then what you're doing is you're capturing that capital that discovers new ground. And so as a telco, you spent $1 trillion on 5G over the last 10 years, and the app economy took advantage of that. The agentic economy or the conversational AI is where that opportunity returns back to the telco. So if you're in telco, if you're in apps, or if you're in creating value, you want to look for those systems and then figure out how to draw that value to you. So the capture value side is super important.
Awesome, thanks Mark. I love the earlier demo that Aaron did, vibe coding. I think the world of development and collaboration between, let's say, large and small companies is going to change dramatically. If you want to learn more about these four solutions or four contributions to acceleration, come and see us at the Open Gateway Zone in the other Fira, the big one, the new one, the ugly one. Thank you, all of you, for being here on time, making the amazing effort. Come and see us, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Time's up.